They say when God calls a man, he doesn't ask where he came from, only if he's willing to go. So I went. Makurdi, hot sun, dry air, and the quiet weight of responsibility. My name is Father James. At least, that's what I've been called for as long as I can remember. But memories are a strange thing. Sometimes they lie quietly in the dark until someone walks by and turns on the light.
Welcome, Father. You'll love it here. Simple people, strong faith. We've all been praying for a new shepherd.
Thank you. I look forward to serving. I shook hands. I smiled. I blessed children I'd never met. Then I saw her. She stood by the chapel gate, frozen, wearing a long green dress, holding a pile of hymn books. Once her eyes locked on mine, she turned away like she had just seen a ghost. And in a way, she had.
No, it can't be.
She didn't speak that first day, just watched me. Every movement, every breath. And when I offered a polite smile, she dropped the pile of books in her hands. Her husband came to help. A tall man, calm, familiar. I didn't know him, but he looked at me like he was remembering something or someone. The week unfolded with routine, mass, confession, blessings, home visits, and Mabel. Always Mabel. She joined the choir practice, started attending daily mass, dropped by the rectory with extra food.
Father, I made too much. Thought maybe you could use some.
At first, I saw it as kindness, then as a nuisance, then as something else. I started waking up in the middle of the night. My dreams, fragments, disjointed, familiar faces, a river, a name. I looked in the mirror and wondered who the man I saw was. One afternoon, I went to visit one of the elderly parishioners, Mabel's mother-in-law. I prayed for her, but something on the wall prayed louder. A photo, 3 teenagers, 2 boys, 1 girl. One of the boys looked exactly like me.
That's an old photo of my son Simon and his wife Mabel. I think you met them at the church. And the other boy was Sunday. Poor boy, he drowned. Everybody thought Sunday would marry Mabel, but my Simon married her after his friend's death.
I didn't say a word because I couldn't breathe. Sunday, that name echoed in my chest like thunder. Later that day, I met Mabel at the church. She was an hour early for choir practice as usual. I was drawn to her like a magnet.
Father James, do you ever feel like you've lived before?
I looked at her. For the first time, truly looked. Her lips trembled. Her eyes searched mine. And something cracked. A memory. A whisper. A hand holding mine in the rain.
Do you really not remember me?
I didn't respond because in that moment, I wasn't sure who I was anymore. I had come to Makurdi to serve the church, but something else had brought me here too. Something older than my collar, deeper than my title. Her name was Mabel, and somewhere inside me, I knew she had once been mine. It started with the sound of rain, then water, rushing, swallowing. I was standing at the altar, but my knees gave way beneath me. I had seen something, not with my eyes, but in my mind. A face, a storm, a scream, a hand reaching out, then vanishing beneath the current. Then I remembered everything. I drowned. It was during my youth service. I was traveling to a remote village. It was raining quite heavily. The bus fell into the river. When I woke up, I was on a bamboo mat, rescued by a stranger. I had no memory, no name, just pain in my ribs, and the kindness of a fisherman who said,
God still needs you. That's why the river gave you back.
They gave me a name, James, taught me how to fish, fed me, clothed me, and when I felt a pull toward the church near their village, they said it must be God calling me again. So I obeyed. I entered seminary. I never looked back, because I didn't know there was a back. So I remembered who I was and who she was to me. I invited her to take a walk with me by the river. There were too many things to be said.
I went to the river every year on the day you disappeared. I held your photo in the water and asked it to bring you back. I lit candles for your soul. I tried to love again, but no one was ever you. Then I married your best friend.
Her words landed like a flood on dry ground. She hadn't just missed me. She had mourned me. She had buried me and tried to live again. And I had forgotten her. Mabel took me home. Home I had forgotten.
They live in Vandakia now. Your sister never stopped looking for you.
When I stepped out of the car, she came running, not to question, not to scold, but to hold me. My mother couldn't speak. She just placed her hand on my chest and whispered,
You're still my son, no matter what name you wear.
But now, I was two men. The boy who loved Mabel and played guitar under her window, and the priest who stood at the altar, wearing the name James. I had found my past, but I was no longer sure I wanted it. Mabel and I began meeting often, not secretly, not sinfully, but dangerously, because the heart remembers. We walked the riverbank one evening. She held my hand without asking, and I didn't let go.
I'd leave him if you asked. I'd leave everything.
I looked at her lips and remembered how they once called me mine. I leaned in and we kissed. Then I pulled away. Go home, Mabel.
Don't do this. Please. Not again.
But I had already turned, not because I didn't love her, but because I did. Some vows are spoken in front of altars. Others are whispered under mango trees. And when both live inside the same heart, you begin to break. I couldn't sleep. I stared at my Bible for hours, hoping the pages would speak. I asked God for a sign, a word, a dream, a scripture, anything. But heaven was silent. And in that silence, my mind wandered to her, to what we were and what we could be.
You didn't call. You didn't ask how I was.
I was trying to forget.
I don't want you to forget. Because I can't.
She touched my face. Her fingers trembled like candlelight in wind. We leaned in, and for a moment, there was only breath, heat, memory. But just before the fall, I pulled back. We can't.
Why not? We're not doing anything wrong. We love each other.
Exactly. I loved her too much to make her carry the guilt I couldn't live with. After she left, I went to the church. I knelt before the altar. I didn't ask to stop loving her. I only asked for strength, not to act on it. But the silence grew louder. That night, Mabel's husband came.
Father, do you have a minute?
He looked tired, older than before, but in his eyes, there was no anger, just pain.
She's changed since you came. I know who you are, and I know who you were to her. I didn't mean to betray you, my old friend. When we thought you died, we were both drowning, in grief, in guilt, in silence. We held each other just to stay alive.
I know.
But she was never really mine. I see it in her eyes. But still, please, don't take her away from me. She's my wife. She's the mother of my children.
He cried, right there in my study. A man begging not for revenge, but for mercy. And something inside me shifted. That night, I packed my bag, not because I was running, but because I was choosing. I requested a transfer to another parish, a small town far away from Makurdi and from memory.
You're leaving?
I must.
We were this close to having what we lost. Why would you let it slip away again?
I held her hand, not tightly, just enough to feel what I was letting go. Because our love is real, Mabel, but so is my vow, and I love God too much to dishonor the path He gave me.
So this is it?
This is grace. So I left for my new parish. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I almost broke my vow, not out of lust, but out of love, real love. And I don't know if that's better or worse. Somewhere in another life, she was mine, but in this one, she is a part of the path that led me home.